What are the bread and butter traits? Slow healer, prone to illness, smoker, and weak stomach. Why these negative traits? Because all of them either make a small difference in how you play the game or are easily dealt with, such as smoker. Next, you can either take overweight or underweight, as both of those traits can be mitigated within a week. This takes us up to 23 trait points to spend, but there's actually another nearly free negative trait to take. Claustrophobic makes you panic when indoors. At first this sounds like a huge problem, but the primary concern is that you can't sleep while panicking. However, I discovered that you can fast forward time, and your panic will reduce to the point that you can quickly click to sleep and get away with sleeping in even the smallest rooms. If you aren't a fan of exploits, there are plenty of larger rich houses with a large enough second floor hallway you can chill in without panicking. The panic from the trait also wears off over time, and after about 3 months you barely get panicked at all from being indoors. So all claustrophobic really does is limit your initial base to a larger open building. Now that we are up to 27 points, what do we spend them on? Always take wakeful. The difference it makes in tiredness and stamina regen is too good for the 2 points it costs. On a similar vein, I recommend athletic, but there's a big drawback. Even if you buy the athletic trait, you do not keep it unless you have 9 fitness. You can't take the trait if you choose overweight, and if you went for underweight, it gives -1 fitness, so you end up with 8 fitness. Actually leveling from 8 to 9 fitness is a pain, so I recommend careful planning so you don't screw yourself and waste 10 points. If you absolutely want it, then I recommend running underweight and fire officer, as those will cancel each other out. I'll get deeper into the occupations later. Back to positive traits. There's a handful of things you want to include in your build, mostly taking advantage of the XP multiplier from getting points in a skill. You want a weapon skill, nimble, and maintenance if you aren't going long blunt. You may also want carpentry if you plan to build your own base. In this example, I'll take handy and gymnast. From here, it's all preference. If you have +1 in a weapon skill, you could also take the pacifist negative trait. Even though it says less effective with weapons, it actually just reduces the weapon skill experience gain by 25%. But since you have +1, you're already getting a 75% increase, meaning you come out positive. I will not be taking it in this video, but it's something worth thinking over. From here, I'd personally take fast learner and stout. Faster skill leveling and better weight capacity fulfill my initial needs much more than any other combo. But there are a few other good traits. Cat Eyes is excellent for night play. Not only does it increase your field of view at night, but it makes everything brighter in general. Dexterous is great for speeding up item transfers of heavy things, invaluable if you plan on building a base in the middle of nowhere. It also comes in clutch when trying to loot in the middle of the horde. Adrenaline Junkie, when combined with any of the traits that make you panic more, is amazing at making that gotta go fast character. If you ever decide to play with sprinting zombies, it'll make a lot more sense. Keen Hearing is a great choice if you plan on spending time out in the woods, as an even larger area will be visible near you. On the other hand, the negative trait Deaf reduces your perception radius along with the loss of hearing. The rest of the positive traits are uninteresting, some of them even being traps like Herbalist. It gives you the same ability as a magazine you can read in the game does. Worse than worthless in my opinion. Amateur Mechanic costs 5 points and teaches you 2 of the 3 vehicle types, while the Occupation Mechanic only costs 4 points, teaches you all 3 vehicle types, gives more mechanic skill and short blunt. Now onto those occupations. My personal favorite is Lumberjack. It comes in at a 0 point cost while giving you faster movement through trees, 1 strength for that increased carrier weight, 2 axe skill, and the Axeman trait which increases your damage with axes. Fire Officer is another one with no cost that is fairly decent. Park Ranger gives a decent mix of traits as well as a maximum speed bonus while moving through trees. It's a very different playstyle when you can outpace zombies through even the thickest brush without fear of getting trapped and bitten. It does come at a 4 point cost though. Burglar costs 6 points, but lets you hotwire from the start and open windows a lot easier. It seems like a steep price to pay, but it does give 2 nimble. This means you can drop Gymnast if you were following my trait choices earlier, meaning it really comes in at a 1 point cost instead of 6 points. The last occupation I'll mention specifically is Security Guard. The Night Owl trait it gives reduces the amount of time you need to sleep to reduce your fatigue to 0. You will want to set an alarm to maximize the benefit, otherwise it's probably not worth the 2 point cost even if it's cheap. The remaining occupations are either niche or almost worthless. For example, Carpenter actually gives you 2 points, but Carpentry is easily gained in game due to the Life and Living channel, so it's really just a short blunt skill. That doesn't compare well to some of the better occupations. To finish this video off, I'll give my take on the most meta build. I chose a Lumberjack here, but if you drop Gymnast and Speed Demon, you can switch to Burglar. Yes, you would be without a weapon skill, so it would gain slowly, but it's about being the best and not the fun factor. That's 38 points to spend on whatever you want.